Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Skinny women are perfect. Well, if that caught your attention, then you'll love hearing from the author of this fiction book. I'm joined by Dr. Tosin Richard. When you go to her website, the first thing you see is Becoming More Comfortable in My Own Skin Unapologetically, and I love it. Good morning and welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you. I want to talk about this book, Skinny Women Are Perfect. It's a fiction novel. Tell us a little bit about it, background, how it came to be.
I'll start with how it came to be.
Okay.
Because that might ease people who are like, oh my gosh, that title. I had an interesting visit at the doctor's where I got some really, really bad news. And as I was walking out of the doctor's office, there were these two older women who saw me and just gushed over me and said, oh my gosh. One of them said, oh my gosh, you are so skinny and you're so perfect. What I couldn't give to look like you.
Really?
And I broke down in tears. Because I know what I had just heard at the doctor's. And it was not in any way related to what they had just said to me. And so even though that should have made me feel better, it made me realize that the way we look at people on the outside could be the absolute opposite of what's really going on within them. And I literally that day I got home and I said, that's the title of your book, Skinny Women Are Perfect, because they aren't. Wow. So that was the motivation behind it.
Okay. And you were telling me actually that I'm assuming from that moment to this, it was several years in the making.
Yes, several years in the making. It didn't take that long to write. Writing it actually was one of those things whereby in my own quiet moments, late at night, sometimes early in the morning, the characters spoke to me. The characters are a multitude of women that I have met over time, some friends that I have, even currently, and just the issues we deal with that a lot of people kind of don't always see when they talk to us or when they see us. And having those characters tell me, no, this is my issue. And I know I sound like I've got people living in my head. And maybe I do.
Most authors do, I think, though.
Maybe I do. But yeah, it didn't take that long to write it. But going through the revisions, making sure that I felt it was authentic, there were also some very specific inspirational messages I wanted to weave through the book. And I needed to go through those things myself and actually record them as they were happening. I was telling someone earlier that, I warned someone earlier, you're going to cry in parts of the book. And that's because it's an exercise that all the girls have to go through in chapter 9, I believe it is. And it breaks them. It really breaks them. It builds them back up, but you've got to go through. There you go.
So, do you want to share their names with us? Tell us who our main characters are.
Our main characters, it's 4 girls, 4 girlfriends. The girl whose voice you hear mostly through the book, whose the story is told through her voice, is Aurora. I call her Rory for short. Amazing family. She met her 3 girlfriends in college. One girlfriend is Sierra Snowden, another girlfriend is Niku Raoul, and the last girlfriend is Bailey Irish Kennedy Johnson.
Oh my, you developed them well, did you not?
I'd love to believe I did.
Now, you were telling me you were of Nigerian descent. You've lived in London.
Yes.
Now you live and were educated over in the U.S. mostly. Have you noticed a cultural difference when you go take all of that encompasses you in terms of the skinny woman being that experience that brought you to this?
Not particularly, and of course I'm black. A number of my black girlfriends they cautioned me and said, Tosin, why aren't you writing from a black place? And my answer is so simple. I'm a woman first, and I relate to being female first than anything else. And what was so heartwarming, all my girls are different races, a couple of them are mixed, and I write from a place of womanhood and not from a place of race. And each time I've visited, I visit a lot of colleges, and each time I've visited different colleges and I've spoken to the girls, each of the girls tell me they see themselves in the book. So for me, it doesn't. I don't see a cultural shift. I made it authentic by bringing in some of their cultural experiences through the book. But the reality is, even through those cultural experiences, when you read what one of them goes through, you could put yourself in her shoes.
Okay.
Regardless
so it's
of yours.
A little bit of every woman, and or at least there's a little bit of each character in most of us as women.
You will find yourself in the book. That's a promise.
All right. Let's see. Skinny Women Are Perfect.
Yes.
And it's by Tosin Richard, a novel. Definitely get in on this. I'm looking forward to it. Now, is it Amazon.com? Where can we find it?
It's available everywhere.
Okay.
It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes & Nobles, The Nook, for those who are like, savvy electronic readers. It's everywhere. It's on iTunes. It's everywhere.
And check out, what's your webpage so people can check you out?
trichard.me.
Trichard, no S, .me.
Yes.
All right, it's so wonderful to meet you and hear about the delightful experience that I'm going to embark upon. Skinny Women Are Perfect, Tosin Richard. Thank you for being with us
Thanks
this
for
morning.
having me.
All right, stay with us. We have more good things to share. We'll be right back.